Hello guys, welcome to another video. In the previous videos, we have seen on how to evaluate RAG using LangSmith, right? In this video, we will see how we can evaluate the LangGraph agent which is built using LangGraph using LangSmith. So let's see how we can evaluate. So we'll do two kinds of evaluation. One is the response evaluation, which we have done already using the RAG as well in the previous video. And the second thing is whether our agent is being taken the steps as we want. That's the second evaluation which we do. For suppose, before that, let me set you what is the agent in this video. Okay, like I have built an agent using LangGraph which will does two things. One is it will check whether the tickets are available for a specific movie or not from the database, and the second thing is it will be booking the tickets if we give the movie name as well, in case if the tickets are available. Okay, these are the two things which my agent does. It's like a POC agent for movie ticket booking and movie ticket checking. Okay, so now in this scenario, I will be using LangGraph to validate whether when I check for the tickets, whether it is taking this particular path or not. When I ask for the booking tickets, whether it's taking this particular path or not. Here this is simple, but when we go into the production scenarios, we'll have multiple nodes and right. So at that time it has to take the right path based on the question. So we have to validate whether our agent is taking the right path or not based on the question. To validate that, we have LangSmith, and whether it is taking the right steps or not, we can trace that as well. Okay, let's see how we can do that. Before that, let me quickly explain you the LangGraph code. I've just environment variables, and then I've imported the required libraries, and this is my simple DB, my local SQLite database, where I have two databases. One is screening and another is booking. In the screenings, I have these particular three movies and number of tickets available. If you see, this is the last column, number of tickets available. And the second thing is booking. If you ask for a specific movie, then it will book that specific movie as well. That's it. So it's just a simple init database method using SQLite. That's it. So the database already exists, so I have to delete it and then recreate it. So when I execute, it works fine. That's it. If I want, I can check this as well. Right now there are no bookings. Now if I check screenings, I'll have the screenings because I have given three entries. See, these particular movies are there in my screen. This is a screen number, this is the time, and this is the number of seats available. That's it. So this is an LLM which I'm using, Chart OpenAI. That's it. Now we know that in LangGraph we create the state, and inside which we give multiple variables, and every node returns this particular state attributes only, right? Similarly, so here I have these messages. We know for adding all the messages, what is the query type. So one of the second attribute here is query type. So I use this particular attribute to decide whether the specific question is related to booking or to check the availability of the tickets. In that case, it will return lookup. So what is the name of the customer, phone number, movie title, tickets, what is the LLM response, all this I have created in the state variable. That's it, and I have executed this. Now if you see, these are the tools to check the seat availability. It is just querying this screening table, okay, based on this movie title. That's it. Now if I execute this particular bookings method, if you see here we are just checking whether particular movie seats are available. If the seats are available, then we are updating it. That's it. Simple method. That's it. Now if you see, this is my first particular node. If you see here, the first node is the gather info, and then either ticket availability node or the ticket booking node. So what does this gather info node does? So this gather info node will validate what kind of question is this, whether the question is related to the seats availability or whether it's related to the ticket booking. That's it. Just a simple node. That's it. If you see, I'm just triggering the LLM, and in the prompt for this LLM, I have mentioned like you are a validator. You have to understand the user query and decide whether the user is asking for movie tickets availability or he wants to book the tickets. Accordingly, please respond with either of these two strings, ticket availability or book tickets. Based on the response we get, we will be updating this particular state variable, query type, whether it's a lookup or availability query or it's a booking query. That's it. That's my first node, and here my second node is availability. if I come to my graph, it's availability and book. These are the two nodes, right? In this availability node, if you see, I'm just creating a agent using create react agent and binding this particular tools, okay, and agent dot invoke of, I'm just passing the human message, what human has typed from the state variables. Similarly for booking also, human message, I'm just passing this to this particular agent, and this particular agent uses this booking. That's it. These are the simple nodes. And now if you see here, I have a method called nav. Here, based on the state variable query type, it is returning lookup or book. Why do I need this particular method? Because I need to add the conditional edge right here for this nav, and I'm creating a conditional edge based on the user query, whether you have to either go to availability or either to the booking. That's it. So I'll just execute all these. These are simple methods. See, if I execute the graph, this is my particular graph. Let me test it. If you see, hi, could you please tell me how many seats are available for the matrix tonight? When I execute this, I should get my it understood that we are using the ticket availability, and if you see, there are 100 seats available for the matrix tonight. If I go to my database, see, matrix 100 tickets available, right? That's why it has got. And similarly, let's test another node as well. If you see, can you book me tickets for inception? If I execute this, see, it is understood like it's a book tickets node, and it goes to the books node. Yes, I have booked 3 tickets for the inception. Your screen ID is 2, booking time, and the seats available, remaining seats available are 77. That's what we get. So we understand that our agent is working fine. We created agent using LangGraph. So now we have to test the 2 scenarios using LangSmith. So we know in LangSmith we create the data sets, right? See, this is the input, this is the output. For this kind of question, the output should be something like this, and the trajectory should be like this. So here, if you see, I'm just checking whether the seats are available or not. So it should first go to gather info and then to the availability. So when I ask for the bookings, then it should first go to the gather info, then to the booking. Here I have just explained or created with a simple node only, because simple agent only with just 2 nodes. But in the real time, we'll have multiple nodes and a lot of complexity or navigation between the nodes, right? In the production scenarios, there it will be very useful to test whether it's taking the right path or not. That's it. So I guess you understand what is this data set. If you are not clear what is data set and all, you can watch my first video on LangSmith in my LangSmith playlist. You'll clearly understand why do we need this input, why do we need this output. Okay. Now, if you see, we in the output we are checking 2 scenarios, right? One is trajectory and another is response. That's it. Let me execute this. I'm just checking whether I have LangSmith connection or not. Yes, I got it. Let me give the other database name here. That's it. Sorry, other data set name. That's it. A new data set should be created here. See, new data set E2 is created. That's it. See, these are all the data sets, inputs, outputs, and all. Experiment should be nothing. Now, if I come and run the experiments, if you see, so now what is the first experiment which I am doing? If you see, grader instruction. So what does this particular prompt? It is just saying like, you just validate the input. That's what on a high level, you just validate the input and output whether they are in sync or not. That's what I have mentioned here. So if you see, I'm just creating a class here which has 2 attributes, is correct or reasoning. Why I need this particular class? Because the LLM should respond with these 2 attributes only. That's why if you see, I have created an LLM here, grade LLM, and this is my method inside which I am validating that. And why I have to create this method and all, if you watch my previous video, you'll understand very clearly. Okay, so now inside this method, if you see, I have a prompt. This is a question, this is the expected response, this is the bot response. Bot response, if you see, this grade LLM dot invoke, we are passing this particular prompt and the grade instructions both, right? And now if you see, grade dot is correct. If you see, is correct is this one. I mean, we created a class and we are binding this, right? If you see, this particular LLM is binded with this grade class. So our response of this LLM will be with this only with these 2 attributes only. That's it. Now inside this method, we are running the graph. This is the theater graph which we have created above. See, theater graph. That's it. Now I'm just invoking it and I'm returning the result. This particular method is returning the graph response. That's it. Now inside this particular method we are using the LLM and validating whether the response is correct or not. I mean whether the reference response and the response which we have both are in sync or not. That's what we are validating here. And we know this is how we validate in LangSmith. If you are not clear on all these methods, I recommend you to watch my previous video. I very clearly explained over there. And now if you come here, client.evaluate is a method, and this is the run graph inside which we are triggering the graph. This is the data set, and what is the evaluator here? This particular method, evaluator, inside which we are evaluating, right? That's it. Inside this particular method only we are passing input, output, and reference output and everything. That's it. So if I execute this and if I execute this, now it's running, and once it is executed we will be seeing all these experiments in the LangSmith. When I trigger it, I got it perfect. If you see, the outputs are perfect, and here I am able to validate how much is whether it gave the correct answer or not, everything, what is wrong, everything. So the overall intention is to show you on how we can validate using LangSmith. That's it. Now the second thing is the trajectory. So this is the major thing. So we want to know whether it's taking the right paths or not. That's the overall intention. I mean whether, when based on the question, whether it's going to that node or this node, that navigation is important. So that also can be checked here. If you see, I've just created a simple evaluator method here, and in this method I'm just validating whether it's taking the right path or not. So here in this method I'm just validating the trajectory from the reference response with our response and returning that particular value. If you see in the data sets, if you see this response with whatever is coming from our agent, I'm just validating that. This is a simple evaluator method. If you go, it's just a plain Python stuff which will just compare both the trajectories, the output of the model which it has taken, and what I have over here in the data set. This is the first one and this is the second one, whether it is the same is happening in the model as well when we trigger it using the graph. That's it. That's it. I'm executing this, and this is a graph inside which we are executing that particular graph. That's it. Now here I'm just evaluating the same. That's it. Here it will evaluate whether it is taking the for a specific query, it is taking the so and so path or not. That's it. So it's done. If you want, you can even view this response as well in the pandas data frame here only instead of there. If you or else you can go here and view that as well. If I come to this particular data set, if I scroll here, this is what is the latest experiment, and if you see, every score is 1. It has taken the right path only. See, if you see, what is this question? See, our ticket availability is what they are checking here. So it came to the gather info and then to the availability. So it has checked correctly. So using in the LangSmith UI, you can just view whether it has taken the right path or not. That's it. So this is how we will validate the flow of our agent, or the flow of our nodes in the agent, whether it's based on the question, whether it's taking this path or this path. That can be viewed over there as well, or else we can view that in the data set as well. That's it. Thank you so much for watching.